So, in my last video, if you watched it, depending on what kind of content you're into, if you watch my Disgaea RPG content, you'll have seen that I was playing Disgaea RPG on the Steam Deck. That was kind of a lead-in to doing this video, but in this video, I want to highlight one of the biggest strengths that I feel like the Steam Deck actually brings to gamers, right? And if you guys know, if you are a PC gamer, you have been able to buy a lot of the Disgaea games on PC. It's the first platform that allows you to buy Disgaea 1, Disgaea 2, Disgaea 4, 5 and 6 all on the one platform, right? But it is missing some key things, and people have been very vocal about wanting NIS, the developer, to bring these things to Steam so that you can have your entire collection on the one system. Now, for some reason, it doesn't seem to be forthcoming. There could be some reasons behind Disgaea 3, obviously. Voice actor, some controversy. That could be the reason why, don't know. Doesn't really explain why Disgaea 2 D2 hasn't been ported to Steam, but the good thing about a Steam Deck is it's an absolute monster when it comes to emulation. So I've been able to create my own collection, which I've called the Disgaea Universe. And in here you can see that not only do I have Disgaea 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I also have Disgaea D2. On top of that, I also have Disgaea Infinite. And to round it all off, I've got Prinny Can I Be the Hero 1 and 2. Now, this is not available on Steam. This is not available on Steam. This is definitely not available on Steam. And for some reason, the Prinny games are not available on Steam. So using a program, very easy to install, very easy to use, called EMUDECK, I've been able to kit my Steam Deck out with all the various emulators that are needed for me to be able to play this, but play this in such a way that you wouldn't even know that you're using emulation, right? So I'm going to show you what some of them look like. Not going to spend a lot of time on here, just going to show you quickly what a lot of them look like running on the Steam Deck so that you can see just how easily these boot up, how easily they play, and how, honestly, once you've installed EMUDECK, you can just play games, right? This doesn't just apply to Disgaea. If I was to go into my other folder, you would see I've got loads of games for Switch, for Vita, for PlayStation 3, all of these devices, they play very well on the Steam Deck. I will just say PlayStation 3, depending on how demanding the game is, you could have a bit of a mixed bag, but for games like Disgaea, it performs absolutely fantastically. So the first one we're going to take a quick look at is going to be Disgaea Infinite. Disgaea Infinite, to those of you that don't know, is a visual novel, I think you want to call it basically. Visual novel, it was out on the PSP. You can see this little line just above play on my screen. It's like, it tells you how long to complete the main story. That's a plugin that I installed. It's called How Long to Beat. And basically with this plugin installed is if there is information available, it'll tell you roughly how long a player takes to complete the game, complete it maximum, just complete the story. For people that don't have a lot of time, this is actually a very good plugin and I highly recommend that you do get it if you have got a Steam Deck. So, just going to take a quick look at this, nothing too in depth, because basically we're looking at cutscene, right? So you see in there, I just hit the button, I just hit X and, well, A, and it just loaded as if I was playing a native game on the Steam Deck. There's no loading up an emulator first to then launch into the game. You can obviously see that the artwork and stuff like that's there. It's just exactly the same as running something on a standard Steam Deck, as if you installed it directly from Windows. So, unfortunately with this game, right, there's not really too much to show you because, like I say, it's a visual novel, you know, it's not, we're not going to be able to go in and see, like, what I want to say, proper gameplay. There's just a lot of this going on. But you guys can see yourself that the Steam Deck does a really good job at presenting the game. It looks good. It doesn't look as if it's a pure old-fashioned game. It's been rendered well, and there's a little bit of upscaling going on to make it look pretty nice, okay? That's all I'm going to do. looking at this. Well, do you know what? I'll wait. Etna's about to come up. We'll let Etna come up and you can see. But the game runs fast. There's no hiccups. There's no glitches. There's nothing like that. So if you want to play PSP emulation and complete your Disgaea collection, you could decide you want to put on the original Disgaea Afternoon of Darkness and Disgaea 2. Can't remember what the PSP subheading of that game is. But that is Disgaea Infinite running on the Steam Deck, and all of it is done through a program called EMUDECK, like I said. Now we're going to have a quick look, very quick look, at Nintendo Switch emulation. For any Nintendo CEOs or lawyers that are watching, I do own Prinny Can I Be the Hero on my Switch. I dumped this myself, so it's my own ROM that I'm using, right? But you see here, this is a Nintendo Switch version. Because this is a slightly more demanding piece of software, I have decided that what I would do is I would leave it with the kind of overlay running at the top and the bottom. You don't have to have this. This is just so that you guys can see at the bottom that it runs at full frames per second. You don't get slowdown, you don't get lag or anything like that. And it is literally just as if you are playing natively on a Nintendo Switch console. So all I'm going to do here is just very quickly, very quickly, just gloss over it, go in, just move along the level a little bit, show you some attacks, and you can see yourself that gameplay wise, it's exactly what you would expect. We've not got any like input lag, there's no problems with regards to how the game performs. It runs full speed. You see at the bottom down there just now, it's running at just under 60 frames a second, which makes me think that that's just the speed the game runs at. Got up here, and as you can see, this game performs absolutely fantastically as well, and all of this is just another reason why I think personally this is a fantastic handheld device. For me, I just feel it does what I want it to do, it performs how I want it to perform, and it just allows me to kind of have the games and collections that I want to have. Now, I'm under no illusions that you cannot emulate on other devices, right? You can obviously emulate on a PC and things like that, but no other handheld device is going to allow you to emulate Switch games like this. And then following on from that, when we jump over to the next game, so now we're obviously taking a look at Disgaea 3, which is emulated on Vita. This is an emulation program called Vita 3K. Vita 3K is, I think it's still fairly experimental, right? So I don't know if, as an emulating platform, Vita has got that many games that you can play on it yet. That's not anything to do with the Steam Deck, that is more to do with development on the emulator itself. But Disgaea 3 works absolutely fantastically on this. Now granted, it is not the most demanding of games because it is a 2D slow-paced tactical RPG, but it's something that you cannot get natively on Steam. So I'm just going to skip this, right, so we can just jump straight in and you can see Mal moving about and stuff. We'll zoom out. All the controls are the way you would expect them to be. Everything works absolutely fantastically. The performance of the game is great. You've got your fully voiced cutscenes and stuff like that. It is just Disgaea on a handheld, and again, you cannot get this game natively on Steam. So the Steam Deck is allowing me to plug the gap and have this game on my device. Now, some people might wonder, you know, like, what's the big deal? You've got Disgaea on a handheld. I've already got Disgaea on a handheld, I've got it on my Vita. Right, but the thing is, for me, all this chopping and changing of devices, having to play my PlayStation 4 version of one game, then play my Vita version of another game, and then play a different version of my PS5, like for Disgaea 6, it's all really annoying. I just wanted it all on the one device. And if NIS had decided to be nice to us and allow us to buy them on Steam, I could have done that, right? But unfortunately it's not to be, so I'm having to use emulation, and the fact that the Steam Deck can emulate so well means that I can play these games on a device that I enjoy, that's comfortable, and like it's just absolutely seamless. Now this is technically going to be the hardest one to emulate. You would think that the Switch being newer than the PS3 would be harder to emulate, but it's the PS3 is notoriously hard to emulate because they used to use a special type of processor that was custom made for the PlayStation 3, and it made emulation a little bit tougher. But apart from this little bit here where it loads in, you would have no way of knowing what I'm about to play isn't being played on hardware that it was designed for, right? So we'll jump in here. I really need to play through this game, right? But I've tried it enough to see how it performs, how it operates. I've got the speed turned up, as you would expect, but this game looks fantastic. This game looks as good as you would expect something like Disgaea 5 to look, you know? Unfortunately, Disgaea 6 decided to go in a completely different direction, but this game just runs, do you know what I mean? It works how you would want it to work, it plays absolutely perfectly, and it allows you to plug the gap in your collection and have all the Disgaea titles on the one handheld, whatever. Simple, easy to do, and I highly recommend it. So if you are someone who has a Steam Deck and you haven't looked into emulation already, look up EMUDECK. There's no point in me making a guide for it because there's already some absolutely fantastic guides out there that will tell you everything you need to do step by step. It is so simple, honestly. It does most of the work for you. All you've got to do is basically download the correct BIOSes so that these games will actually work. It's very simple. One time, you're done, you're good to go. It'll pull in all your artwork and stuff like that. Everything is done for you, and you can have your device set up to have these games running as if you're just playing them on the hardware that they were designed for. Anyway guys, fun distraction in this video. Like I say, I just wanted to show you guys the fact that having the complete Disgaea collection on a device, on the one single device, is not impossible. The Steam Deck allows you to do that. Now all I've got to do is decide, should I put Makai Kingdom and La Pucelle, things like that, into my Disgaea Universe folder? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway guys, I've been Hayzink. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video. See you later.